Hi guys, welcome to the start of quarter 4, the beginning of unit 5. This week you will be working through assignments that were created by MCPS for you to use on my MCPS classroom and on StudySync, and sticking with that platform. As you logged in this morning, you saw this entire module that is set up in such a way that you have to start at the beginning and work your way through each of the assignments and complete one before you move on to the next assignment. What's going to be super important here on my MCPS classroom is the weekly overview that says start here. This has a long video, but it's very, very important that you watch the video and go back to the video when you have questions. It explains each assignment in detail of what is expected, what you need to do, where you need to go, how to finish that assignment. So if you have questions, that is your first stop, is to go back to that video and look for the part of the video that's talking about the assignment that you are working on. There's also an agenda that I've created. There's a task list if you want to print that out and do a check off of each thing that you're completing. And then it works its way through the assignments that you will be working on this week. You'll be starting with a blast that is called Making Your Mark. Then you'll move on, and that's on StudySync. Then you'll move on to the monitoring comprehension lesson, which is borrowed from StudySync but is embedded into my MCPS to kind of abbreviate the lesson for you. Then you'll do a playlist that will give you some background information before you read the short story this week. Make sure you're reading the directions on that playlist of what is expected for each of the readings in each section of that playlist. Make sure you're following the guidelines for that. Then you'll log into StudySync and you'll read Warriors Don't Cry. You'll complete the quiz and you will do one of the 3 posted think questions and make sure you submit that. And then your final assignment for the week is on my MCPS classroom. It's called Text Message My First Day. And again, make sure you're reading the directions on that worksheet and make sure if you have questions that you're going back to that video of the overview and watching to help answer some of those questions. The blast might look familiar to you. It was assigned right before we went to our homebound quarantine, right before school was let out. And some of you answered it, some of you didn't get a chance to answer this. So if you did it before, you can go back and look in your binder and use what you wrote there, or you could come up with something new. But you do need to do it again if you already did it. Then you'll be reviewing up to 10 other students, and this is a group of students that is all of my students combined together. So please make sure that you are being kind and constructive and not being petty and silly in your responses. You do need to comment for all of your reviews, no matter how many stars you're giving. Give some sort of positive feedback or constructive feedback. We're not checking grammar, we're not checking spelling. Here we're looking for content, and is the information that's being given relevant to what you read and what you're being asked. You have a suggested pacing guide, and again, this is just a suggestion. It's broken down day by day. You're going to have a lot more work this week, I'm going to assume, because we're not just finishing up the quarter, we are moving on to new material, a lot of us in your classes. So make sure you're setting up a schedule for yourself, and this here is a schedule to help you sort of work your way through the assignments at a reasonable pace while not spending too much time each day trying to get this done. Please don't wait until Thursday to try to get this all done. Make sure you're spreading it out throughout the week there. And again, this is just another view. This is posted as the agenda for the week. And at the bottom, you can see my email address and where Zoom sessions will be for us this week. There's meeting IDs and passwords, which are also posted as their own separate pages on my CPS Classroom. So Tuesday and Wednesday this week, we'll do a drop-in session if you have questions or need clarification on any of the assignments that you're working on. Again, please check the overview video before you log in to ask me questions. That video is very helpful in answering a lot of those questions. Don't come and say, I haven't looked at it, and ask me questions. Please check there, help yourself first, and then I will be glad to answer questions that you might have. Thursday and Friday, we'll do like we did last week, where we have class time to share and discuss what we did in our learning for the week. I have some questions that I'll be using based on some of the readings that you'll be doing to kind of try to have a class discussion on Zoom. The due date for all of the work is Friday at 8 p.m. And the deadline is Monday morning at 8 a.m. before I post new assignments for the next week. So please make sure you're following along. Please make sure you're checking in on your friends. Make sure that everybody's engaging with the materials. Ask questions and make sure your friends are doing okay. I miss you guys. I will see you Thursday or Friday if I don't see you Tuesday or Wednesday. Have a great week.